Martin County senior Ricardo Weaver lived out every kid's dream Thursday night. In the cauldron of competition against a city rival, Weaver was back deep to receive a kickoff to try and rescue the Tigers from a crushing defeat at the hands of Jensen Beach. Initially bobbling a deep kickoff with 6.3 seconds remaining, Weaver ran back to collect the ball on his own 5-yard line and the rest would be history. The Tigers senior kept his feet moving, picked up blocks from his teammates and churned down his own sideline with the end result was a 95-yard walk-off kickoff return for a touchdown to hand Martin County a stunning 27-22 victory over Jensen Beach to secure the Fergie Ferguson Trophy County champions for the third year in a row. I knew the clock was almost over and I knew my first instinct was to just score because I knew what was on the line, Weaver said. A trophy and a legacy at Martin County, so all I knew was to score and just do my thing. The Falcons, just minutes before Weaver's magical moment, conjured up two of their own to take what they figured was a 22-21 lead to win the game. Senior quarterback Gio Cascione somehow got off a 14-yard pass with Martin County's Reece Smith draped all over him into the back of the end zone where junior Dylan Fatovich leapt high in the air to snag and land in bounds to make it a 21-20 game. Martin County called a timeout with the Falcons preparing to go for the extra point and the tie, but Jensen Beach head coach Tim Caffey decided he wanted his kids to have a shot to win the game, putting the ball in star junior running back Dennis Palmer Jr.'s hands in the Wildcat formation. Palmer ran around the right side into the end zone to give the Falcons a 22-21. Once Weaver got his shot to take the game into his own hands, it was the Tigers celebrating a win to remember. TCPalm dives into a night that will live on in the echoes of Martin County history. Slow start heats up quick. Both teams entered Thursday's game locked into the postseason with the Falcons at 8-1 and the Tigers at 7-2 each lined up to host first-round playoff games next Friday. With both teams looking to go into next week with momentum, the first half Thursday was oddly uneventful. Martin County fumbled on its first offensive snap as Omarion Hall recovered the ball, but Jensen Beach didn't turn the miscue into points. In the second quarter, Jensen Beach curiously bypassed on a 28-yard field goal try to go for it on a 4th and 7 that failed but would finally break the ice late in the first half. Cascione threaded a pass to senior Nick Venezia in tight coverage and Venezia shook off a tackle and scored from 26 yards out that would give the Falcons a 7-0 halftime lead. Jensen Beach maintained that lead late into the third quarter before Martin County finally struck. Senior Pauly Boisvert hit classmate Denzel Alexander on an 8-yard touchdown connection that tied the score at 7-7. A minute later, Cascione and Venezia struck again as the speedy wideout took a slant over the middle, broke a tackle and streaked 60 yards for his second touchdown of the night to give Jensen Beach the lead right back. A clutch 66-yard punt from Boisvert with the wind at his back to end the third quarter backed the Falcons up and proved to be a key play. After the Tigers got a stop on defense, Weaver returned a punt to the Falcon 20 and 2 plays later, Boisvert against a heavy rush lofted a pass to a wide-open Nick Roebas-Bass, who tight-roped the sideline for a 23-yard score to tie the game 14-14. After the two teams traded punts, Martin County junior Antwan Mitchell made a lunging interception on the Jensen Beach 37-yard line and one play later, the Tigers went in front. With 3:22 left in regulation, the elusiveness of Boisvert, who has stepped up to play quarterback the back half of the season for Martin County, made a memory of his own with his legs. Scrambling out to his right, Boisvert eluded the defense, tucked the ball and outran the Jensen Beach defense for a 37-yard score to put the Tigers up 21-14. Cascione engineered a great drive setting up the eventual go-ahead sequence for the Falcons, hitting Fatovich on a 16-yard gain on 3rd and 14 to bring Jensen Beach down to the red zone. Cascione and Fatovich's heroics were upstaged minutes later by a play that stole the show and gave Martin County a win they'll never forget. Seniors lead Tigers to thrilling win. Every Tiger that had a hand in their touchdowns Thursday for Martin County came from its senior class. From Boisvert's 2 touchdown passes, to Alexander and Roeb's making key plays, and in the end a piece of brilliance from Weaver made the difference for the Tigers and head coach Rod Harris. Special teams are an area of emphasis for Martin County, and the work Harris has seen in practice he felt certainly gave his team an opportunity they took advantage of. We work on kickoff return, and sometime when a guy mishandles the ball, the defense gets out of their lanes, and that's what happened to Jensen Beach, Harris said. With Ricardo, we got blocks down the field, and Ricardo as a senior made a superstar play. With the win, Martin County finished the regular season at 8-2 and winners of 4 straight games entering the postseason. The strength of Thursday's win over an 8-win Jensen Beach club could be enough to jump the Tigers over Osceola for the No. 2 seed in Region 2-4S, as the two teams were separated by less than 1 point in the RPI. Martin County will host a regional quarterfinal, and the challenge of recovering from an emotional win and prepare for their opponent is all Harris and his staff will turn to beginning this weekend. "We're going to give them a couple days off and regroup Monday," Harris said. "It's been an unbelievable ride. I couldn't be happier. Nothing more enjoyable than seeing kids smiling after a game." The thrill of going ahead with an improbable moment between Cascione and Fatovich leading to Palmer's go-ahead 2-point play quickly turned into shock for Jensen Beach. Initially on the kickoff, Caffey directed Gavin Hart to hit a hard dribbler to force the Tigers to make a play on the ball or grab the ball and go down to have one offensive play to work with. Hart executed his kick perfectly, and a deflection by a Tiger-up man would have started the clock, but the Falcons were flagged for jumping the kickoff coverage and had to move 5 yards back. Caffey instructed Hart to kick away from Alexander and downfield to allow his coverage team, who he lauded had performed well all season, to go down and make a clinching tackle. "We've covered kicks well all year, and I was thinking, we just squibbed it and they call us offside, so I thought, let's kick the next one deep. We tackle them and time runs out," Caffey said. 5 Falcons raced downfield and looked to have Weaver corralled, but once the senior sprinted toward the sideline, most of Jensen Beach's personnel were behind the play, and the outcome left the Falcons stunned on their sideline. The loss negated a sterling performance from Venezia, who caught 8 passes for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jensen Beach entered Thursday ranked second in Region 3-3S, and despite the loss, the outcome losing to a team with 8 wins likely won't drop the Falcons behind mainland in the final rankings. The job of Caffey and his staff to refocus his kids getting a playoff game next week at home to get back off the mat will be the best medicine for his team in his eyes. "I expect us to come out Monday at practice and come out very businesslike," Caffey said. "They know what's at stake. They know what we need to do. They've got to just come out and do it and keep playing." Chaminade Madonna 45, Treasure Coast 6. Cedric Bailey tossed 6 touchdown passes as the Lions completed a perfect regular season in Hollywood. Bailey connected twice with 5-star junior wide receiver Jeremiah Smith, once to another 5-star receiver Joshisa Trader, and threw 2 more to standout senior Edwin Joseph. Titan quarterback George Roberts accounted for the lone touchdown of the night for Treasure Coast on the ground. That snapped a stretch for Chaminade Madonna, where they had outscored opponents 275-0 in their prior 4+ games. Treasure Coast will now wait to see who they will play in a road playoff game as an at-large berth in Region 3-4S after entering the latest RPI in the 6th spot ahead of Centennial. Boca Raton 17, Fort Pierce Westwood 0. Turnovers haunted the Panthers in a game that was scoreless at halftime as Chance Routson ran for a touchdown and threw for another to lift the Bobcats to a victory to end the regular season. The Panthers fell to 5-5, and needing a victory to have any hope at contending for an at-large berth in Region 3-3S will see its season conclude on a 4-game losing streak. The Bulldogs fell at home and end the season with a 2-8 record. Brian Cooney is a high school sports reporter at TCPalm, part of the USA Today network.